My name is George Christopoulos. I'm the president of the Federation of Private Educators of Greece, the teachers who work in the private sector. It's called ELNE. We're very happy to be a part of ELNE, which is this big group of educators, academics, trade unionists, stakeholders in the field of education, which is a field that should be the primary place of democratic dialogue. Education for us is the first and foremost political activity, so like dialogue should be present if you want to make steps forward. And actually, this project that we are presenting today uh, has dialogue at its heart. Let's say a few things about ELNA first. This education month offers a big program of webinars and workshops, and our project is a part of this. We are very happy to be a partner of ELNE, which is a EU-funded network that brings together over 60 partners organizations from 26 countries. And our project, we believe, clicks all the basic aims of ELNE. For example, it is, as number one says, a practice and a social program because it's made by stakeholders and it showcases the dialogue. Number two, connecting with other stakeholders and break the silos. I'm going to say a few things later about this. But in reality, to make this project happen, we had to overcome quite a few difficulties and break prejudice and several difficulties and tensions in order to collaborate. And number three, get inspired and empowered to shape the future of education. Yes, we believe that with dialogue and with collaboration between stakeholders, we can do many things about education. So many people say, okay, you made a program of training teachers. What's the big deal? It is a big deal. But in order to understand somebody why it is a big deal, then we have to explain a few things. Greece, as many people know, is a country that faced considerable challenges over the past 15 years, especially after 2008 to 2009 when the financial crisis started. Especially for workers and of course workers in private education, things became very difficult. We lost the right to social bargaining. Our wages went down nearly to 35 to 40%. And of course, you can understand that in the field of social dialogue, things became quite difficult. There were many political tensions, and we had big problems um, collaborating with the government and also our counterparts in entrepreneurship, the people who own private schools or language centers or all the other private education facilities. So this was a very difficult field, so to say. It was like a minefield where there was a big lack of trust between the two sides. We were angry because we have lost rights. Many employers were also angry because of our activities, our activism, strikes, and also quite a few of those people were also affected by the crisis. We had many institutions of private education that faced big financial difficulties. So you understand that it was a difficult situation. But number three, which is something that not many people know, is that training in Greece is not something that is should be taken for granted. Interest in reskilling and upskilling in Greece is not very big. According to the statistics of the Greek Confederation of Labor, GESE, 76% of enterprises don't provide in-house training for employees. So there isn't a strong culture of training, of reskilling and upskilling in Greece. So all these conditions made a very difficult task of promoting this, getting into the dialogue. Um, the reality is that we say in our title that's leading by dialogue. For me, leading is not a very attractive word. Okay, being a leader in modern days means that you have to fulfill a role and try to coordinate things. I believe I prefer saying working with dialogue because we should work all together for better results. And our little project shows that if you work together and you try to build confidence and trust, then you can achieve quite a few things. So, how did it all start? I became president of OELE, of my federation, in 2021 in a very difficult field. Already in 2020, we had a law in private education that deprived us of most of the rights that we had. Um, Now firings are at will without any cause. Um, the private school owners are present in all of the meetings of teachers, which means that there's no real esoteric democracy in schools. So it was a very difficult field. The president, the ex-president of OILE, a very enthusiastic and very dynamic activist, had just died. So it fell on my shoulders to try to do things my own way. I really believe that you cannot have war all the time with your stakeholders, that you should try to bring peace by dialogue. So, my first task was to convince my own colleagues at the Federation that a partnership with employers could be feasible, that we could find things that we could discuss together, that would work together. Um, Not the red line things like wages, for example, or firings, or other terms of working conditions, but we should start with things that interest both sides. For example, innovation in education, training programs, and things that would make the quality of education services better, and how we could do things better for our pupils. That was the first thing. I had long discussions with all fractions because our federation has three fractions with different political ideologies and aims. So we had to do long conversations to try to say that we have to work together in some issues with private school owners in order to create a different type of future for private education. Number two was to find sponsors. Finding sponsors for an educational program, a training program in Greece is not a very easy job. So we had to talk to our big trade union, which is YESE, and also we had to talk with private schools in order to try to achieve this program from both sides of the aisle, as we say. And third task was having the political agreement in my federation and finding the sponsors. Then we had to persuade private school owners that we had to work together and achieve a common goal, overcoming distrust. So, who are the partners in this project? Number one partner is my federation, OELE. It's the federation, as I said before, of education in the private sector of Greece. We represent about 80,000 educators in private schools, tutorial centers, foreign language centers, vocational institutions, and we do many activities. We try to not only highlight things that have to do with working conditions of our members, but also we try to bring general issues about education, educational inequalities, and the need for a democratic and progressive education for the good of societies, especially in these turbulent and dark times in European societies. The second partner is the Center for Educational Development of YESE. YESE, as I said before, is the Greek Confederation of Labor. It is CANEP is an independent scientific institute and is implementing research programs in the areas of education and lifelong learning. Due to my federation being a small federation with very poor funds, we had to talk to YESE, and fortunately, we got a substantial amount of money for this project that we planned. And of course, the third partner was CERN. CERN, as many of you know, is one of the most famous research centers in the world. It was established in 1954. It operates the largest particle of physics laboratory in the world and implements countless education and research programs. and it is a pride for us. We are very happy that CERN gave us the opportunity to implement this training program for private school teachers in Geneva. And of course, and this is probably the most for us, for me personally, the best news that more than 40 private schools all over Greece participated in this program and they co-sponsored our project. In the beginning, very few schools accepted this, but as the years pass by, because this year is the fourth consecutive year that we'll work this, more and more private schools, big schools, schools with very strong educational identity and with excellent educational programs and the results, they participate in our program and makes us happy because at last we've got a common field of understanding and working together. This is the first about our program. We're going to say a few things about our program. This is the first poster that we produced because many of you don't know Greek. It says the historical collaboration of ELNE and CANEP with CERN. It is a co-organized program for training of private educators. So this is the poster that we have used for the past 4 years. And this is the poster that it's widespread in social media in the country. So when does it happen, this program? It happens every year. As I said, this year is the fourth consecutive year. During the Easter holidays. Why Easter holidays? Because we need the teachers to be free of any responsibilities from their schools, so they are happy and free to do the program. Um, how it is sponsored, as I said before, the Greek Confederation of Labour covers a big amount of this, covers 50% of all costs, meaning the plane trip, accommodation, food, and excursions that are happening to France and Switzerland for each participant. The rest, 50%, are fully or partially covered by the private school of the participant. In very few cases, schools denied to co-sponsor. So, because every year we had a small surplus, in some cases we managed to add to the funding of teachers who didn't get sponsorship from their schools for this program. Um, we had three big aims of the program. In the beginning, when we said that we're going to do a collaboration with CERN, many of the teachers said, but okay, are you aiming to invite only science teachers? No. This is for everyone. As we said from the beginning, when we made our first press release and our first public announcement to teachers, this involves everyone, elementary school teachers, kindergarten and primary, and secondary school teachers of all specializations. We don't believe that physics or CERN is only a matter for science teachers. We believe that it applies to every teacher. So, uh, first aim is to familiarize all teachers with modern physics. The second aim is to inform them of the latest development in science and technology, and especially knowing that CERN does things that it could apply in very important things in everyday life. For example, research about cancer and other innovative therapeutical procedures are happening in CERN through the research in particles. And of course, number three is to bring teachers in touch with the history of science and the importance of CERN for all these almost 80 years of its existence. Well, as I said, who can participate? As I said before, we don't care if teachers are specialized in science or not. We don't care if they are primary or secondary teachers. Um, we were very happy that in the program we had teachers from kindergartens that participated, and at the end of this presentation you'll see one project that the kindergarten teachers did inspired by CERN, and this is the part number two of our presentation, because we believe that it's very nice to speak about the project, but we want to show the fruits of this project too in this little project of ours. So we believe that the world of physics, the world of science should be accessible to everyone. Um, we prohibited, so I know it's an ugly word, but we prohibited members of my board, me included, to participate in this program because we made this program for the teachers. We didn't make it for trade unionists or for a friend. So we made it for private school teachers. So for transparency reasons, we decided to exclude ourselves from taking part of the program. Only the person who was responsible for this uh, could um, could participate. Um, the first year, due to the program being new, due to these big obstacles, as I said before, the distrust between us and private school owners, and of course the COVID scare, we had 25 slots. 25 would participate, and we had only 30 applications. But as the years passed by and we started having more and more dialogue, better dialogue with representatives of private school teachers, we are now up to the point. This year we managed to provide for 35 teachers, and we had more than 120 applications, which shows the progress. And we had to create a scientific committee, put several criteria. For example, if somebody has been to CERN before, we made them write a few things about why they want to participate in the program, the years of experience. So we made them a complex uh, um, criteria guide in order to choose from these applicants so that we could get the 35 teachers that will participate this year. With this year included, we have 120 colleagues that chose our program, and very important, very important to say that 88% of them are not science teachers, and especially it's pleasing for us was that a staggering 43% are from primary education, which means kindergarten and primary education, which means from year 1 to year 6 in the school. So this program consists of three phases. As I said, 88% of teachers are not science teachers. They're not um, adjusted, so to say, in the worlds of science, in the world of physics. So we had to kind of educate them in the world of modern physics, particle physics. So before the trip, we are providing them with three online lectures. The broad subject is Introduction to Elementary Particle Physics, and we have three lectures on for the following topics. A is the microcosm and the macrocosm, B, the standard model, and C, what is CERN and what it does. Um, I'm going to, because I see that there are some questions coming up, I'm going to answer at the end of the presentation the questions. Uh, these lectures were also evaluated by our colleagues and from the first year. So due to this evaluation, we had to make them better, to make them more understandable, more warm and welcoming to teachers that don't know much about physics and especially particle physics. So I think we are all the time in the procedure of bettering ourselves and providing a better introduction to the visit of CERN. Phase number two is visiting CERN. The participants attend seminars on modern physics by CERN researchers. They visit labs such as the CMC and, of course, the big synchrotron, which is uh, many people know it as the big collider, where particles are crashing on each other. And so we had many of you probably have heard the discovery of the God's particle. It's happening in this collider, and our teachers, our colleagues have the opportunity to visit the big collider. They visit the Science Gateway exhibitions, big exhibitions about science subjects, and the CERN Education Center, which has a plethora of education material and many interesting things that teachers can take and use them in the classroom. And of course, participate in workshops such as the construction of the cloud chamber at the Science Gateway. And the phase three for us is the most important because we didn't just plan a trip to CERN for people to just see a few things and learn a few things. As school teachers, what we really want to do is to take the knowledge that we take and that we get from any source and provide something for our pupils. This was the main scope of the program to train our teachers and get the teachers do in the classrooms things that they learned in CERN. So every teacher had the responsibility to create a project that they would present their own or in collaboration with other teachers in the schools that they work. So we have gathered a wealth of projects and every CERN year are publicly presenting their projects. We have here a YouTube link that you can see what we made, the little event we made at the Central Hotel in Athens of the presentation of first year. And this year we did the presentation in a very big private school in Greece, the International School of Athens, in its big amphitheater. And these are really long events. They last about 4 to 5 hours because imagine that each project is 15 to 20 minutes. So if you think that we've got about 30 participants, there are big projects and people want to explain them and show what they did in the classroom with the kids. And this is what we're going to do at the end of our project. We're going to present one of those projects that happened in a kindergarten. And this is probably the most important thing that because people think that science and physics are for big kids. No, we will prove today that science and the world of physics can be taught successfully in small kids in the age of 4 and 5. Now a few pictures of our CERN moments. Here we can see our colleagues in front of the big collider. It's a little bit scary looking. It reminds me of the worms in the Dune film, but our colleagues are quite brave, so they managed to get there. Here you can see our colleagues working in several workshops. One workshop is in front of the sphere, CERN sphere, and the other one is deep into the earth in the CERN laboratories. And also we've got two colleagues from a vocational school in Chios, a very good private vocational school, proudly presenting their flag of the school in front of the CERN building. Here is this year's presentation of our colleagues in the International School of Athens, the participants that showed with videos and slides what they did in the classroom to implement this project. And this is the last picture. You can see the joy and also the fright of our colleagues getting deep into the earth, about I think 120 meters, to meet with the collider. So these are the basic things that we had to say about this common project, a project that makes us proud because it's the first time after 25 years that representatives of school teachers, of the trade union, of the workers, managed to work together with private school owners and our big trade union, YESE, through a co-sponsored program to educate teachers at CERN. And I think that this is a small example of how things can move forward in education if we work together. And for as long as I'm going to be president in my federation, this is my main aim to move forward not through fighting, but through dialogue, through compromise, and through common work. So now it's, I think, the most pleasing part of our presentation. Uh, we will present the project that kindergarten teachers from a very good Greek private school, which is called Ελληνοαγγλική Αγωγή, Greek English school, that they did they went to CERN and then they went back and did this very nice project to the kids. Let's learn what they did. Uh, so in May 2024, they say here, the kindergarten group of teachers, together with other educators, private school around Greece, they visited CERN. And after this unique educational journey, the teachers were inspired and they tried to find the right moment, they say here, how to teach what they've been taught there and how to show things to little pupils. Let's see what was the trigger of it. So the trigger was given when this school, when they heard, the teachers heard two of the little students talking to each other and disagreeing about how universe was created. Let's see now what the little kids had to say about how the universe was created. So teachers gathered very cute answers. In the beginning, there was nothing. God did everything. Christ created everything that has life. From a big explosion that happened billions of years ago, in the beginning there was only dust, there was an explosion and the planets were formed. The collision of two meteorites and one became Earth and the other became the Sun. And a giant black hole absorbed everything, then it could no longer hold itself together. Imagine this. It broke apart and all the planets, the universe and the sun were created. It's so fantastic to see how the kids uh, feel and how their imagination is working. And so you can see here how they imagine that the universe was created through some paintings. Uh, After having agreed that Jesus said that everyone has the right to their own opinion, the children immediately followed up with the next question. What is everything made of? Everything is made of paper, clay, brick, cement, wood, glass, and humans are made of bones, blood, and skin. We're a mass that can be seen. We're made up of little things that look like microbes, which we can only see under a microscope. And so starts the conversation about the particles. So the teachers got this opportunity to me to say that we are all made from teeny tiny blocks like Lego called atoms. They're so small that we cannot even see them. So, driven by their endless curiosity, the children ask, "What are those colored balls? What are the atoms?" So the teachers try to explain them what an atom consists of. A ball with protons, neutrons, white electrons are buzzing around. Uh, and in the beginning, you can see here the kids are discovering what the atom looks like. And then they started making an atom together using kindergarten materials, plasticine and little buttons. And here you can see that they're using other materials. They try to make the electrons buzzing around the nucleus of the atom. Here, each child made their own atom with markers and plasticine. And you can see that they write here atomo, which is a Greek word which means something that cannot be broken anymore. Uh, and then they were asked by the teachers what an atom looks like. Other kids said that they look like stars, the sun, flowers, cables, even blueberries. So, the question we'll all be waiting for, the teachers, of course, to get them into particle physics. They said about the atoms, that they have protons and electrons. And the question is, okay, we know now what we're made of. We're made of little things like atoms. But what are protons made of? So the journey began. Teachers started telling them about leaving from Athens, going to Geneva, CERN. They had to explain the children that they traveled all the way to this large underground laboratory in Switzerland. So here the kids saw a video about the visit of teachers. They saw pictures of the facilities, the environment around CERN. They saw pictures of the colliders, of the labs. And then they had to draw on their own how they imagine CERN. So you see some very nice paintings of the kids, how they imagine CERN. You see that in the deep into the earth, they imagine something very important, very strange going on, like a sea of particles or like a hose full of little particles. Uh, so the children wondered who works in this big lab and eventually decided that it's the scientists. It's the scientists that are there and they try to find things that have no explanation. They wear a special suit and look for things that we can't see with our own eyes. Look for an answer for all the questions that children and adults have because they are very clever. Do experiments that they cannot do. And yes, the students, of course, are right. The scientists at CERN are doing experiments using a big machine called the LHS to make particles zoom super fast and bump into each other. And this helps them to study the smallest known particles, the fundamental building blocks of all things. So, with very simple words, of course, teachers taught them how this big collision happened and what happened with the Higgs boson, more known as the God's particle. Then they watched relevant videos with children. There was a fantastic animation video of CERN with the CERN Accelerator Network, and there was a video of a quick look around the big collider. So, um, then the teachers asked the kids to make paintings of what are we made of? And so here you'll see everything on Earth, houses, people, objects, insects, animals are made from those little particles. And then, of course, has to be a dramatization, which was a very pleasing activity for the kids. Children disguised as particles moved around the room in pairs and touched their hands gently, representing the collision. It's a very nice exercise, pretending being an electron buzzing around, I suppose, and colliding with your pupils. Kids enjoy these things very much. So then the students had a fantastic virtual trip to CERN lab and became little scientists, govern the world of physics through the use of Scratch Junior on tablets. This was an activity that they simulated an experiment in a particle accelerator that programmed an explosion from which new smaller shapes and colors appeared. Here you can see a few things from this activity. And then they did a robotics activity where B-bot bees were transformed into protons moving into the LHC accelerator. The children created tracks and programmed those little robots in order to collide and create new particles. This is how it worked. You can see the little robots here that they collided in order to make the particle in a surface that reminds of the collider. And then the children observed beads moving in a circular orbit and colliding. And young students painted the accelerators in their own fantastic way. As you can see, sometimes the fantasy of kids is sometimes very close to reality. And the teacher said that everyone can learn everything. Don't stop trying to make your dreams come true until you paint them. And here you can see some more pictures about the experience of kids learning about CERN and about particle physics. And these activities carried out by the children offered them an engaging and playful introduction to the wonders of physics. Enthusiasm, active participation, boundless creativity were truly inspiring. And the most important thing is that we broke um, this stereotype that physics are made only for big kids and not for smaller kids. Of course, everything can be taught, everything can happen with the right encouragements, and as the teachers say very correctly here, the seeds of discovery and creativity can flourish even at the earliest stages of education. Kids love physics thanks to CERN, and they say we love CERN. So, this is all from us, our little project about working together as representatives of our union, together with private school teachers. I want to see now okay, I can see them now. Erasmus Plus program sponsors teachers training programs, especially if they are organized cooperation with the school institution in other countries. Okay. We could, of course, we could apply for an Erasmus Plus program, but what we wanted to do first of all was to see if we can work on our own, try to open the field of dialogue with the private school owners. So we wanted to make something that was not under the umbrella of a European project. We wanted to do something, so to say, homemade, because we wanted to use this project in order to further and deepen the dialogue with private school teachers. Of course, we can do Erasmus plus projects, although I have to admit that sometimes it's difficult. This is, of course, a very technical thing that I'm going to say. Before 2020, we had four to five people that had leaves of absence for being in a pan-Hellenic trade union. Now, I'm the only person who has a full leave of absence. So you can understand that me working in the federation and planning and doing Erasmus work is not a very easy thing to do. So probably this is the biggest obstacle. Let's see the second question. Uh, in this training organized by ELNE, teachers provide CPD certificate. Well, we get a certificate from CERN for participation. I don't know if this can be used in an official manner as a micro credential, so to say. But of course, teachers use it, and now it's getting widely acclaimed as participating in our program, and it's like a good reference when you go to work in another private school. Uh, Maybe next year we're going to do something different, not only CERN, but we'll try to do something in more theoretical studies like language or history, things like that. We'll try to see if we can collaborate in another foreign institution. But the thing is that this project gave us the platform to work together with private school and the private school owners, the private school boards. So we're very happy about this. Thank you very much for watching. I hope it was not a very. If there are any other questions, but I don't see any other questions coming forward. So if there are no more questions about this program, we're very happy that we are here. We're very happy being a part of ELNE. That gives us the opportunity to work together and voice our hopes and our concerns about education and the future of education. And we hope that being in this big community that with educators, academics, and stakeholders, that this little contribution will help open new avenues for education through dialogue. Thank you again very much.